Hello. Have you ever loved a character so much that as soon as you experience them, whether it's in a book or a movie, all you want to do is find another movie or another book with a character just like them? I know I have. Jack Sparrow just happens to be one of my favorite characters of all time. I also have cool little standee of him. One of the many character standees I have in my room. You may know him from his iconic lines, such as, "I've got a jar of dirt," or "Where's all the rum gone?" That's this guy. So what I want to do in this video is to suggest some books that have characters that are similar to Jack Sparrow in them. Now, none of the characters I can suggest today are exactly like Jack Sparrow. No one can be Jack Sparrow, but they share at least one trait with Jack Sparrow that I like. So again, I'm not going to just pick a random trait about Jack Sparrow and then find a character that has that random trait. Like, oh, Jack Sparrow has a tattoo on his wrist. Let's find another character that has a tattoo. That's not the main reason I like him. That's not the main reason many people like him. I'm going to talk about 6 main big reasons why I like Jack Sparrow, why a lot of people tend to like Jack Sparrow, and then I will try to tell you some characters that also share those traits that we love in this guy. So there's a few things I like about Jack Sparrow. One, I actually really like that he's a pirate. I like the kind of situations he's forced to be in because he's a pirate and he's in a pirating world. I don't think I'd like Jack Sparrow as much if he was anything else, like say like a governor or I don't know, or just a random peasant. The fact that he's a pirate is a major draw in liking Jack Sparrow. Not just for me, for a lot of people. And a couple characters I can suggest where being a pirate is a draw to their character would be Captain John Silver from Treasure Island. I think a lot of people have heard of Treasure Island. I have read it and I found John Silver very intriguing, particularly in how he reacted to the pirate life, how he behaved as a pirate. And Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece is another one where he's a pirate trying to be king of the pirates. It's a major character identifier for him. It is a major part of the plot in that book, and I don't think Monkey D. Luffy would be as cool as he was if he was anything but a pirate. Another reason I really like Jack Sparrow is his ability to improvise. So when he can on the fly do some of the things that he does, and it happens to most of the time work out for him, my mind is blown. I find it very entertaining. It's humorous at times even. It engages so many emotions. When he pulls it off, it looks really cool. I feel the satisfaction that Jack Sparrow feels pulling it off. So an example would be when Jack Sparrow is escaping Cutler Beckett's ship after making a deal with him, fires a cannon, attaches it to a rope over a sail, and when he blows the cannon off, pulls the rope so that it yanks him up, and then he lands back on the Black Pearl ship. Probably my most memorable improvisation moment. So I wanted to suggest some characters that can be just that cool, can improvise just that well. And one that I can think of is actually Light Yagami from the Death Note manga. He's a really great planner, but he also is a great improviser. There's many moments when he almost gets caught in a lie. He thinks on the fly to get out of it. And that is one of the reasons I like Light Yagami, just like it's one of the main reasons I like Jack Sparrow. I also like how Jack Sparrow is mostly selfish, but yet he has morals. There are lines he will not cross. Like, he doesn't like to kill innocents. That's pretty obvious in the films. He's pretty loyal to those that are loyal to him, even if he doesn't put the effort into showing that, but you can tell. You can see that he's loyal to those loyal to him. He rescues those that he cares for, like Will and Elizabeth. He rescued them on multiple occasions. They've rescued him on multiple occasions. He's also had the opportunity to attain immortality on multiple occasions throughout the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and he has turned them all down because by turning them down, he has helped keep alive those he cared for. I won't spoil it any more than that, but those are some of the morals I have seen Jack Sparrow display, even though most of the time he is pretty selfish, just wanting the treasure and the ship and the girl and the rum. But in between all that selfish desire, he does show you some morals. So there's a few characters I can suggest that share this character trait. One would be Kaz Brekker from the Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. Kaz is kind of like a mafia boss, and basically his entire character motivation is getting more money, pulling off heists, getting revenge. But it is clear that he does still have morals. because he does compromise what he wants to help those he cares for. Not always, sometimes it is pulling teeth a little bit, but he does show that he cares, and there are some lines that he will not cross. I would also like to suggest Carrie Soto from Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. She is a very famous, decorated tennis world champion, and she has her eye on the prize, which is to keep her record, to keep her title as the number one female tennis player in the world. But throughout the book, you do see moments where she does recognize that there are things she shouldn't be sacrificing. There are things she shouldn't be just bulldozing through on her journey to be great, that there are lines she shouldn't cross. So she's definitely a character I would describe as selfish mostly, but has some moral lines she won't cross. And that is one of the reasons that she intrigues me. So just like Jack Sparrow, that being one reason, it is a major reason I like Carrie Soto. And then the last one I'm going to suggest with this character trait is Wendell Bambleby from Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies series by Heather Fawcett. He's probably out of all these characters the most similar to Jack. He is kind of a fickle, act on his whims kind of person, and he makes it clear on regular occasion that his goal is his comfort, his academic reputation, and his research. But also on regular occasion, we do see him putting his own main goals to the side in order to help Emily Wilde, who is the main protagonist in the series. And that's a reason that I really like Wendell. One of the main reasons I like Jack, one of the reasons I like Wendell. Read these books with these characters if you like characters that are mainly selfish seeming, but they do have morals. I also like how Jack Sparrow is kind of a trickster, and he uses his ability to deceive, but also uses his wit in order to make deals that he may or may not go back on and get what he wants. Like one example I can think of is in the second movie when he gets stuck on this island with a cannibal tribe. He is able to convince and keep on convincing this tribe that he is a god, so that prevents them from killing him for a certain period of time anyway. Some characters that have this trait would be Kaz Brekker again from Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. He also is very smart. He is obviously a heist boss group leader, so he on very multiple occasions is always making plans, always trying to pull off the next big thing. I'd also suggest Evelyn Hugo from The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, because she spends the entire book using her smarts and her wit in order to observe the men in her life, in order to manipulate, deceive, or avoid these men in order to achieve her own ambitions for greatness in a very sexist 1950s Hollywood. I would also like to suggest Light Yagami again from Death Note, because the whole plot of Death Note is characters like Light Yagami and a few others using their wit and ability to deceive in order to attain their goals and get what they want. I also love Jack Sparrow because he has a very carefree personality and almost seems unfazed in even the most dire situations, which can kind of have a humorous effect at times. Some characters that also share this trait would be Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender from the comics and the show. I love that he's always a very calm, carefree character in the background that balances out Zuko's anger and angst. And then even in dire situations, he always seems very level-headed and doesn't seem too rattled ever. I would also suggest Jesper from the Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. He seems mostly carefree even in life-threatening situations. He's always got the ability to crack a joke. I would also suggest Wendell Bambleby again from the Emily Wilde Encyclopedia of Fairies series. On regular occasion, he's seemingly unfazed in even the most dangerous situations. Even when he will acknowledge out loud that he doesn't see them getting out of certain things alive, he still seems very accepting and unbothered by the fact that their lives are at stake in that scenario. And then the last character I would suggest that has this character trait is Jace Herondale from the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. Jace Herondale is on regular occasion kind of like the comic relief almost in most dire situations. He makes light of a lot of things, often through an exaggerated ego, is how I put it, I guess. And the last main reason I love Jack Sparrow is his physicality, the way he walks, his arms, almost like he's always drunk, which I wouldn't be surprised because he loves rum, and how it even shows when he's running. It's a great showing of physical comedy. I'm not usually a physical comedy fan, but Jack Sparrow is an exception. Like, one example I can think of is when in Pirates of the Caribbean 2, when he's trying to get the key to Davy Jones' chest back from General Norrington and Will while they're fighting, and they don't realize Jack Sparrow's behind them. So he's constantly trying to grab the key without getting hit with a sword. That's an example of the physical comedy and Jack Sparrow using his very unique way of moving to try to do so. One character I can suggest that is very likable because of his physical humor would be Sokka from the Avatar: The Last Airbender comics and the show. Basically, he's the physical comedy king. He's constantly falling into traps and into holes and getting stuck somewhere. Those are my suggestions. And again, I want to remind you that all the reasons I listed are reasons why Jack Sparrow is so amazing to me. And any character I suggested that was similar to him in those ways, I also love those characters for the same reasons. Like the fact that Sokka has a very strong physical humor component to his character is the reason why I love him as a character. The fact that John Silver and Monkey D. Luffy are pirates are one of the main reasons I like those characters. So if you want characters similar to Jack Sparrow, this is a pretty good list to start with. Some books to put on your TBR. So based on all the characters I suggested today, the most similar to Jack actually seems to be Kaz Brekker from the Six of Crows books and Light Yagami from Death Note. If you literally put Light Yagami and Jack Sparrow side by side, I would not say, oh yeah, they're the exact same character. But they happen to share half of the qualities that I like in Jack Sparrow are also in Light Yagami, which is really cool for me to learn about myself. And the fact that they don't have to be exactly the same for me to get the same experiences out of these two different characters. I really am curious which characters stuck out to you. I'm actually more curious which character traits I might have shared today that Jack Sparrow has that you also liked about Jack Sparrow. Because I know some people might like Jack Sparrow's ability to improvise more than, say, the fact that he's a pirate. So if you're willing to satiate my curiosity, down below if you can comment on which qualities of Jack Sparrow you like, and also which character suggestions you got from me today that will make you pick up a book that they're in the future. Just so I know what works and what doesn't for y'all. And that's it. I'm hoping to do more of these character book suggestion videos in the future, because I'm always thinking about what do I want from BookTube? What would help me get better suggestions from booktubers? Because I follow so many booktubers and there are a couple where our tastes are so similar and they could almost suggest any book to me and I'm probably going to like it, but it's never 100%. There is always occasionally a book they suggest and I rate it like 2 stars and they rate it 5. So I'm always looking for ways that I can help give people better insight into why they should read a book so then they can tell for themselves what they think it'll work for them. Like I always say the example of slow pace versus fast pace. If a booktuber I like says, oh, this book's amazing, 5 stars, but it's a slow pace, I know not to pick it up because I'm not a slow paced type of reader. So that's just one example. And I'm hoping through these character videos, if you're a very character driven reader, that these videos will really help you find books that have a character you think you're going to like. And because you're a character driven reader, you'll probably like the book if you like the character. So that's it. Again, let me know which suggestions you took from me and also why you like Jack Sparrow. And I'll see you in my next video. Ta-ta. Jack says ta-ta.